Hi guys, let's talk about this coming weekend race, which is the Brazilian Grand Prix. And there's so many things that we are looking forward to this weekend. One of the things is it's the final sprint of 2020. We might be getting towards the end of the 2022 season, but as we enter into the final doubleheader of the year, there are going to be even more competitive sessions in Brazil, as is the third sprint of the season this weekend. We have seen very exciting events at Imola and the Red Bull Ring earlier this year, and there's been plenty to play at the Interlagos as qualifying takes place on Friday afternoon, after just one practice session. Remember to set the grid for Saturday's sprint, and then the finishing order from the sprint will decide the starting lane of the Grand Prix itself. And in the Grand Prix, Max Verstappen will be looking to extend some of the records he set in Mexico. The first being the number of victories in the season, having moved clear of Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel with his 14th win in Mexico City. But the other being the most points scored in a season. Max has 416 points. That's a new record set. So I feel like Max will want to extend that. So we're looking forward to that. The other thing we're looking forward to is seeing Mercedes closing up on Ferrari. Verstappen might be going in search for another victory in his record-breaking season, but he does so safe in the knowledge that he's guaranteed to finish this year. Well, the guarantee has been that he's won the championship as champion of this year, just as Red Bull will be in the Constructors' Champions standings. But behind them, there's still a lot at stake. Sergio Perez moved just 5 points ahead of Charles Leclerc in the battle for second in the Drivers' Championship in Mexico. As a result, that came about with Perez finishing third and Leclerc a distant sixth, as Ferrari had a tough weekend. And that also opened the door for Mercedes to put some unexpected pressure on Ferrari. Mercedes started this season a long way off on the top two teams, but have been improving their car as the year has progressed, with both Lewis and George Hamilton, a threat for pole in Mexico that came after Lewis almost had a win in Austin, and another second place paired with Russell's P4 finish means that they're just 40 points behind Ferrari. And it could be such a major turnaround for Mercedes to come back and just remind everybody that they're still in the game. So we wait to see what upgrades and what they have done with their car this coming weekend. We also are looking into the undecided futures for both Ricciardo and the Haas team. So it hasn't just been Mercedes who have been able to enjoy an encouraging weekend, but Ricciardo was on his best form the entire year, where he negated a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision with Yuki Tsunoda to finish 7th. And Ricciardo carved through the field to end up best of the rest behind the top three teams in a sort of performance where we were accustomed to seeing before his McLaren spell. But he has said that he won't be discouraged by that, and we all know that he's not going to be on the grid next year. But he still insists that he's officially hasn't decided what his future holds. The smart money, though, is on Mercedes' reserve role, especially after current reserve Stoffel Van Dorn was confirmed to be joining Aston Martin next year, following Nick De Vries moving on from that position and leaving a vacancy at Silver Arrows. So Ricciardo is in talks with both Red Bull and Mercedes as their reserve driver. So we hope to hear the news, before the end of the season. Then we also have Haas, who have not yet confirmed who will be their second car driver alongside Kevin Magnussen next year, and it appears to be a straight choice just between Mick Schumacher and Nico Hülkenberg, with the latter not mentioned as part of the Aston Martin setup in its announcement of Van Dorn. So Nico was the reserve driver of Aston Martin, and since they haven't announced him, they have announced Stoffel instead. So Nico could be, coming up to Haas, but it would be such a disservice. I mean, we've seen Mick this year he has really done a good job. He has improved. He's been finishing on points, but I know, as always, cash is king. In either situation, it's going to be resolved by the end of the season. So we likely are about to hear the resolution of these situations in the coming 14 days. The other thing that we are looking forward to is the midfield is getting hot. Teams in the midfield are fighting for their lives. We have Alpha Tauri, we have Aston Martin, we have what's the name? Alfa Romeo, we have Alpine, so it's a close-up. Teams are gonna be fighting for every chance to have a point or two, to be in front of the other. And each position is worth millions of dollars in prize money, and a big swing in points this weekend at Interlagos could prove a crucial outcome after Abu Dhabi. It means money. The last thing I'm really looking forward to is Gasly's on age. Gasly finds himself in a very uncomfortable situation with 2 races to go of this season. The fact that he finds himself in 1-for-more match of the first part of 2023 as well. Gasly has 10 points for the 12-month period, having picked up punishments each of the past 3 races. In Japan, he was penalized for speeding under the red flag conditions. Then in Austin, he dropped more than 10 car lengths, being behind the safety car, before getting another penalty point for leaving the track and gaining an advantage when overtaking Lance Stroll in Mexico. And I mean, that's 5 points, penalty points in the past 3 races, and 2 more would trigger an automatic 1 race ban for the AlphaTauri driver. Of course, we are now entering the final 2 races of Gasly's time with the team before he moves to Alpine, and that threat will be hanging over him until late May next year. That's when the first points expire. It could be a few tense races for the Frenchman while he tries to end his spell as part of the Red Bull family on a high. So see you on Sunday as we watch the race, and I'll see you back here as we do a post review and a post analysis of the race. Bye guys, thank you.